Hey guys, Rochelle here with Amethyst Ascension. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today. What I'm trying to do here is to completely get caught up on the Divine Masculine work that was hosted by the wonderful Ramon over at Moon Scarab channel. He did a wonderful job with the whole structure of everything. My ability to even make this planner was due to all of the work that he did behind the scenes. So everything that was put into it was from him. So I am so grateful. And every single one of the videos he did was so good. And I just love this kind of work. I think it's very important for understanding going forward. And I have my own beliefs and everything. And so I did finish it up. I'm just going to show you briefly you guys seen the first week that I did on camera, right? It's been a rough, last 30 or so days with health issues in the family, and we had a death in the family, and so some of my own health issues as well. So it's been a struggle, as well as I had obligations as far as putting out the, review decks and stuff like that I had to do. So this stuff kind of took a back burner as far as videos go, just because of my time and just because there's other stuff that's happening behind the scenes that not everybody sees, stuff that I do on my Patreon and other groups and stuff that not everybody is privy to, but I wanted to do my final video on this. So for the second week, we looked at the pillar, becoming the ground that others stand on. So the Divine Masculine is not just a spark, it is a structure. It is the quiet strength that holds a storm, the presence that anchors a dream, the clarity that sets sacred boundaries. It protects not with force, but with the devotion of what matters most. So the theme for the second week was holding, grounding, becoming a safe and sacred structure. The focus was on boundaries, reliability, presence, sacred accountability. And so I did my spread, and it is supposed to be 4 cards, but I turned it into a 5 card. What am I meant to hold was the name of the spread, but I put what am I meant to hold for my first question. And I'm just going to show you the cards that I got briefly. What am I meant to hold? And I got the Ace of Cups. The second one was, what part of myself needs my steady presence right now? And I got, 10 of Cups. Where am I being called to be a pillar to others? I got the Ace of Pentacles. What fear do I carry about being dependable? I got the Wheel. And what spiritual vow am I ready to make to myself? Okay. So let me just say, here about a week ago, we had a very close death, which was my mother's husband, passed away. He had been suffering for quite a while, and he was in hospice for quite a long time. What was it, 8 days or 9 days, something like that. He had Lewy body, he had Parkinson's, he had dementia and Alzheimer's, and found out when he went into the hospital, before he went into hospice, he had a broken back, he had been in a nursing home. Just horrible. I mean, so, not to mention health issues with my mom and going back and forth with her. So the place that I really needed to be, or what I am meant to hold, is just love. Being there for my family. That's what that felt like. Ace of Cups. Making the relationships in my life the priority right now. They had to be the priority over everything. And that's why you didn't see much from me other than the stuff that I had pre-recorded for walkthroughs and stuff, because that's about all I could give at the moment, because I was given elsewhere. And what part of myself needs my steady presence right now? Yeah. My family, right? Being around my family, being around my friends. I have a large group of friends that I just love and adore. They know who they are, okay? We talk all the time. We are each other's support system. And my family, talking with my mom almost every single day. This has been such a rough time for her. So that's where I needed to be. Where am I being called to be a pillar to others? Ace of Pentacles. Just living. This is like a manifestation, looking at the possibilities in life. You know, looking at the opportunities that we have with the time that we have, right? Helping others and myself see beyond today or tomorrow, seeing the opportunities in this realization, this reality, right? So what fear do I carry about being dependable? And I got the wheel. And of course that is absolutely it, because integrity is so important to me. That is why I have such a lack of trust sometimes, because people, it seems like they don't have integrity anymore, or a lot of people that I've come across do not have integrity. If you say you're going to do something, you do it. If you don't, then my trust goes out with you, because you are not a person of integrity. I mean, once or twice, I get it. Life happens, right? But if it's a consistent thing, when you don't do what you say you're going to do, so that shadow that I don't like in other people is also something that I am very, it's very important to me. I do what I say I'm going to do. And even if it puts me out, because so many times over the years I've said, oh, I can do this, I can do that. And even though I don't want to do it after I've said it, because I was in a different energy or because I wanted to help somebody at that time, I did it. Unless there was something that came up where I absolutely could not do it. It kills me, the instability. And the wheel is all about change and instability and something coming up. So that's where I fear carrying about what I carry, the fear that I carry about being dependable is that something's going to change and I'm going to be unable to hold up my end of the bargain, because so many times I have seen others not do as they said that they were going to do. And for me, integrity is everything. It builds that level of trust for me. And if I can't depend on you, because a lot of, it felt like my childhood was very unstable. The fifth question was, what spiritual vow am I ready to make to myself? With death, I'm just going to live my life the best that I can, enjoying the things that I can, making the people in my life, the relationships in my life, my family, my friends, making them the priority, and just living life on my terms until I am gone from this incarnation. Okay? That's what the vow that I make to myself. So then we go on to the third week. And it's the broken sword. And there are also exercises, but I'm not even going to touch on that in here. Those are things that I do privately, okay? But I will show you what I want of the spreads, okay? So the third one is the broken sword. Healing the wounded masculine within. We all carry stories of the failed father, the cruel God, the silent warrior. This is the week to turn inward and meet the abandoned child, the shamed protector, the exhausted builder. You are not here to fix them. You are here to witness them into healing. Theme, listening to the pain of the masculine energy, heart, and lineage. The focus is inner child, emotional healing, shadow integration. And then we had a spread. The spread is called, and again, I'll show you. This is my layout and my write-up. I like to get decorative with it. That's just what I do, okay? I like to beautify things so that I go back and want to look at it. The wound, the voice, the healing path. What inherited wound still echoes in me? And, funny enough, oops. Yep. I got the Ace of Pentacles. And for me, it's because my childhood was so unstable. Moving from place to place. It was before we had internet, before we had email, before we had cell phones, before we even had long distance plans. So every time we would move, I lost all my friends. I lost everything to go to a new place and a new house to live in, and sometimes a new parental figure because my mother was married several times. This is not about my mom. This is not about shaming my mom. My mom did the best she could. She was an extremely young mom, but it doesn't matter. There were still wounds that I suffered because of it. So that's why integrity is so important to me. That's why stability is so important to me. That's why I try to see the opportunity and the entrepreneurship in everything, because my childhood was so unstable, sometimes because of a lack of money. I remember being made fun of in school because of not having things. So those things have definitely shaped who I am today, okay? Definitely. Having holy shoes and holy pants, and yeah. Even being the poor ones in the family, you know? So, what does my inner child need to say? And I got Temperance. Yeah, with all things, I need to look at the lessons. As a child, you don't understand those things. As a child, I had no control over where I lived or what kind of money we had. I had no control over that. As an adult, I do. So I look towards the choices that I can in order to keep a stable life as much as I can. I mean, we had our own share of stuff, but my kids never had to go from school to school. We didn't move from town to town, and they didn't have to start all over again, and they always were able to stay in contact with their friends. That was very important to me. My husband had all that when he was growing up. He got to keep a lot of his friends because they didn't move around. I mean, they moved around a little bit, but you know, he still has friends that he had from when he was in elementary school. I didn't have that. I did not have that. So, and I know it's harder for girls too because the names change and stuff like that. So even tracking people down now when you don't know what their married names, it's just harder for women, okay? But I do understand as an inner child, or my inner child is telling me, with all things, there must be balance. You need to not just have the perfect alchemy, but tap into the right frequency in order to understand that those were lessons that I put for myself in order to grow and learn and, you know, what have you. So what part of me has been shamed or silenced? I feel like that part of me that's been shamed or silenced is, as an adult, always having like ideas of making money and how I can create more of an abundant life and having the finer things in life because I want to enjoy my life when other people in the world are not, right? But I have had to defend myself from like being greedy, people saying I'm greedy or whatever. Also because of my weight, you know, just being a pig or what have you, you know, just consuming too much, whatever. You know, so I've always had to defend myself in that manner. And I don't care. Personally, I don't care. If people don't understand, they don't have to. It's not their path. My life is not their path. It's mine. It's mine to learn and grow from. And if they had come from the way that I came from, then when you've walked in my shoes my entire life, from the time I was born into the family that I was born into and to the environment, then you can judge me. Otherwise, just shut the hell up. That's how I feel about it. So, what does healing look like for me right now? And yes, it's family. It is true wealth to me is not about the material stuff. It is about living a good life. It's about whatever brings you happiness, right? Fulfillment. And for me, that is having the nicer things around me. I'm not going to pretend that I don't like that. There's no way for me to do that. So I worked hard. My husband worked hard in order to achieve the things that we have achieved. We've had setbacks. We've gone without, especially when our kids were younger, because it all went to them. And now that they're older, we have bought for ourselves and we're enjoying our life. And I know it's fleeting. It is fleeting because none of us are getting out of this alive. And this last week, with the loss of my stepfather, it just reinserts that it's so important to live your life to the fullest. Do the things that make you happy regardless of what anybody else says. And the most important thing for me is relationships and family and finding fulfillment in that, because those are the things that we do take with us. Those are the major lessons that we also have from life to life. So that was my third week. And then my fourth week. So the fourth week is about ruling in harmony with the feminine. The true king does not dominate. He listens to the inner queen. He holds space for intuition, softness, and mystery without needing to control or define them. In this final week, we do not seek balance, we seek reverence. The sacred marriage of masculine and feminine is not a division of labor, but a union of essence. Gosh, I love that. So the theme was inner union, sacred authority, and integration. So the focus was balance of intuition and action, doing and being. And so the spread that I got, and I'll show you right quick what that looks like. That's the Throne Within spread. And I'm telling you, I love this deck so much. The Whispers of Time deck, it's so freaking gorgeous. So what I got for the first one was, what does my inner feminine wish to express? And I got the Two of Wands. To me, it is all about understanding that duality itself was about planning the world. Look at how it's like hanging. Planning this reality. The duality between masculine and feminine, the polarity is about learning in this 3D matrix. This it's all an illusion. It's delusional, okay? It's not real. It's only for like this training ground that we call reality. It was all a planned thing that I also, my beliefs, decided to come into this incarnation in order to learn from that duality. So, what does my inner masculine want to protect or build? And these are the cards that I got. I got two of them. The Queen of Pentacles and the Moon. Being strong in what I want, right? Protecting my authenticity, my accountability, my autonomy, and also the mystery of like the divine feminine itself, like the Mary Magdalene Rose line, the dragon line, the Sophia dragon line. It's like all that, okay? Protecting that knowledge, protecting the information, the wisdom that comes from those lines. That's what I truly believe. How can they support one another more fully? And this is what I got. The Empress. She is like taking the Magician and the High Priestess and pulling them together, right? She manifests. So she is essentially masculine and feminine energy because she takes her intuition and she takes her feelings and she creates with that. So, yeah. I think that that's how they can support one another. This manifestation itself, this 3D, is a union of all those forces, okay? What does sacred union within look like for me? Yes. Somebody that is willing to stand up for their own beliefs, rule their own kingdom with love and compassion and nurturing and intuition, but also being able to take action upon that. A master of their own logic and their own emotion. And that's within the single person. It's not about finding somebody like your twin flame or your soulmate in order to complete you. It's about you completing yourself. And that is how I feel like that sacred marriage, it's not about having offspring. It's not about having children. It's about creating that union within our own experience while we're here. Knowing that we are that everything for ourselves, right? So I just want to say thank you so much, Ramon, for this work. I am terribly sorry that it has taken me, after the month in order to get it done. But it has been a rough bit of time around here. For many different reasons. So, thank you, everybody. I hope that you have done this work also. And because I do feel like it is extremely important work. I think that it is this is just my opinion, the most important work that we will ever do in our lives is the sacred union of the masculine and the feminine. Everything is encompassed in that work, in my opinion. So, thank you for spending this time with me, and I am sending you love always.